We now move to business talk. This week we'll meet Dr. Robert Hisrich, the director of the Worker Center for Global Entrepreneurship at the Thunderbird School of Global Management. From his experience about global economy and his own business activities, Robert Hisrich will share with us his prediction about the global business environment in the time to come and offer some advices for investors and businessmen. Our reporter Minh Kong will be in charge of the interview.
Well, hello and thank you for joining us today. And we know that the global economy has been getting worse, and the business environment also become worse, and the investors have to tighten their spending, and international investors become reluctant to pump their cash in foreign markets. What are your assessment of the global business climate at the moment and in the future?
Sure, that's a very good question, and I think something that we've all been concerned about, and something that over the last 4 years has been a very, very difficult economic time and downturn. As we look at it from the U.S. and a business person in the U.S. and investors, we think the U.S. economy is now starting to have an uptick, that we have bottomed. Our biggest problem right now in the U.S. is the value of the housing market, of the residential housing market. In some cities, the commercial real estate values have gone down as well. It looks like in cities particularly that have been hardest hit by this, such as Phoenix and Las Vegas and cities like this, they have now bottomed, so that now we see commercial construction beginning again, we see residential construction beginning again. So I think that the next years, as we look at it from my business perspective and my companies, we look very positively at it. I think there's a lot of opportunities in developing economies like Vietnam, and they can use this if the kind of product or service is right, to then not only market in your economy, which is a nice 90 million plus people economy, but also in economies in the surrounding nations. So I'm very positive right now. What happened also right now, because of the tightening of the market and because of concerns, I think there's a lot of investment dollars that are looking forward to being spent right now, and they're looking for investment opportunities all over the world. So I'm looking very forward to the next 5 years as a business person.
And in Vietnam business environment, we have the advantage of low labor costs and low material costs. However, those advantages are not sustainable. So what do you think Vietnam should do to maintain its attractiveness to investors?
That's a very good question. One thing that always has to happen is the productivity and the efficiency rate of what your people can do here. Thus far, in my experience with Vietnam, which is not big in terms of the country, but Vietnamese business people in the United States, is they're very productive and very efficient. So in terms of what you need to do as your economy is you need to look at how can we get some branded or high-end goods that we can produce here and then export into other countries. And so it's a matter of looking at what do we do well, what do we have as material advantages over other countries in the world, and how can we then take those into a global market.
What are your recommendations to the investor amid this crisis?
Well, I think all of us are now looking at different kinds of things to invest in. I think the traditional investment opportunities that we used to look for are not there and will no longer be there. So I'm particularly looking very forward to developing economies. I think all the growth that we're going to see in the next years is going to be in that particular market segment. I think it's a matter of how attractive is the Vietnam economy to investors versus other market opportunities we have. You know, money goes where there's market opportunities and willing to make return on investment. And if you have that kind of economy and that kind of opportunity, then money's going to come here. As long as the foreign direct investment policies of the government is good, and as long as the government is open to foreign direct investment coming in, then this can compete against other economies in the world. I haven't operated a business in this country. I haven't been in this country before. So I am not sure that I would understand how to operate a business effectively here any more than you would in any other country. But the basic principles of management never change. I have to be able to hire the right people. I got to create an environment for those people to operate in. I got to have the right product or service idea that's going to have a market, And then I got to have customers that are satisfied with the product or service I deliver, and I got to deliver that and repeat that in a sustainable way time after time again. And regardless of what business you're in, that's the same.
Yeah. So what should be the best business model now?
You know, I think there's a lot of good business models available today. One of the things I think that people have really started to be concerned about, and we see that in valuations of companies. Facebook went public at $38 a share. It's now down to 19. And so we see a decrease in this whole concern about social media because there's no, there was not a strong revenue model there. So to me, there's only two things you really need to be successful in business. You got to have some unique selling proposition or competitive advantage in a market, and you got to have a revenue model that's going to bring revenue from sales that you generate in a particular economy. So that model, I don't think has changed in a long period of time. It's all about total revenue minus total cost equals profit.
So we have a general principles for setting up a business. So how should enterprises, businesses consider when they want to invest in a foreign country?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I think you have to look at the market in that particular country and the benefits that market in that country have, that they want the same things that your features or your product or service want. I also look very carefully when I look at countries in terms of what some of the rules and laws are. For example, how easy it is to hire and employ people as well as not hire people. What are the bankruptcy laws in the country? How easy it is to, if things don't go well, and what are the circumstances in terms of the bankruptcy laws. I look at the pro-government attitude towards business. Is the government very much in favor of people starting and growing companies, or is it not? Do they have processes and help in terms of assistance in terms of doing that? So I think that there's a lot of features that you look for in a country in terms of before you decide, do I want to go to, if I'm a Vietnamese country, do I want to go to the United States? Do I want to go to the European Union? Do I want to go to Russia? Do I want to go to China?
That's all for our interview. And again, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. It's fun to be here, and I hope everything goes well for your country.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.